What if I told you that a computer existed more than 2,000 years ago? Not during the Industrial Revolution, not in the modern world, but in ancient Greece. This is Decode Station. It's a machine that, honestly, should not exist. A ghost of human engineering.
Section 1. The Shipwreck's Strange Secret. A Discovery in the Deep.
I want you to step back in time with me for a moment. The year is 1901. A crew of Greek sponge divers has been blown way off course by this completely ferocious storm in the Mediterranean. Seeking shelter, they drop anchor near the small rocky island of Antikythera. And when the storm finally passes, they descend into the dark, crushing waters just to search the seabed. But what they find instead is a sunken Roman shipwreck, a massive vessel that had been resting down there in the silent depths for over 2 millennia. As they explored the scattered debris in the deep blue gloom, they began to haul their discoveries up to the surface. And out of those dark waters, the divers recovered absolute treasures. I mean, we're talking breathtaking marble and bronze statues, ancient jewelry, delicate glassware, gleaming silver coins. It was just a spectacular haul of ancient wealth. But right there among these beautiful artifacts, there was something else. A lump of heavily corroded bronze and wood. It was entirely crusted over with 2,000 years of sea life and sediment. Sitting next to the gleaming statues of gods and heroes, it honestly looked completely worthless. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than a meaningless lump of metal. In fact, it was almost thrown right back into the sea.
So what was hidden inside the bronze? Well, for months, this strange, calcified rock just sat in the courtyard of the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. It was ignored, completely forgotten, just another piece of shapeless debris resting among these majestic marble figures. But as the wet wood and bronze slowly dried out in the open air, the object actually began to fracture. And when it finally split apart, archaeologists noticed something that made their blood run cold. Embedded deeply inside the solid rock was a perfectly cut gear wheel. It was an impossible sight. It would take decades of slow, painstaking research for scientists to finally grasp that this lump of metal was actually something extraordinary.
Section 2. An impossible ancient computer. A machine from the past.
Eventually, after years of cleaning and early X-ray analysis, scientists made a startling classification. They realized they were looking at the world's very first analog computer. Now, I know when we hear the word computer, we immediately think of microchips and electricity, right? But an analog computer uses physical, mechanical parts to perform complex mathematical calculations. And what is truly staggering here is the date. Radiocarbon dating and historical context firmly place the creation of this device at approximately 100 BCE. That makes this machine over 2,000 years old. It was literally built before the Roman Empire had even reached its peak. For a long time, the deepest internal workings of the mechanism remained a total secret, locked inside the remaining calcified rock. But in recent years, scientists used high-resolution, three-dimensional X-ray microtomography to virtually strip away the stone. And what they found? It took their breath away. Modern scans revealed a complex, miniature system containing more than 30 interconnected bronze gears. The teeth of these gears were cut with astonishing microscopic precision. Some of these gears were no larger than a coin, yet they fit perfectly together in a tightly packed space, driving multiple interlocking dials.
So what did it actually do? Well, by turning a small hand crank on the side of the wooden case, the inner gears would spin. The user was essentially fast-forwarding or rewinding time itself. The mechanism used complex mathematical ratios, which were embedded directly into the bronze teeth of the gears, to predict exact astronomical events. It tracked the precise position of the sun, it tracked the moon, it calculated intricate lunar phases. It even predicted the exact timing of solar and lunar eclipses down to the hour, and tracked the irregular movements of the planets across the night sky. It was a mechanical cosmos, held right in the palm of your hand.
Section 3. Rewriting Human History. The Shocking Truth.
You have to understand why historians were absolutely shocked by this mechanism. Finding this object at the bottom of the Mediterranean was kind of like opening a sealed ancient Egyptian tomb and discovering a working jet engine. Nothing, absolutely nothing even remotely close to this level of technological advancement was known to exist in the ancient world. Before this discovery, historians firmly believed that ancient civilizations were entirely incapable of producing precision gearing. Just look at this massive, thousand-year void in human progress. We have the Antikythera Mechanism sitting at 100 BCE, and then Silence. The next time we see complex gear systems approaching anything near this level of sophistication, it's in the astronomical clocks of medieval Europe, around the 11th and 14th centuries. This single, corroded device completely challenged our deepest assumptions about ancient technology. It proved, once and for all, that human progress is definitely not a straight line upward.
Section 4. Who built the mechanism? The masterminds of antiquity.
Which brings us to the ultimate investigative question, doesn't it? Who built it? Who was the mastermind capable of engineering such an impossibly precise device 2 millennia ago? Because this wasn't built by trial and error. It required a profound understanding of advanced geometry, astronomy, and metallurgy. Someone had to sit down, calculate the complex gear ratios required to track the moon's elliptical orbit, and then physically cast and cut the bronze to millimeter perfection. Researchers do have a few prime suspects. The most likely candidates are the elite ancient Greek astronomers. One really strong possibility is Hipparchus. He lived on the island of Rhodes and is widely considered the greatest astronomer of antiquity. He extensively mapped the stars, and the mechanism perfectly models his highly specific theories on the moon's motion. Another compelling theory points to Archimedes of Syracuse, the legendary mathematician and engineer renowned for defending his city against the Romans with those ingenious war machines. Historical texts actually describe Archimedes building mechanical planetariums, which sound remarkably like the device found in the shipwreck. But despite all the evidence, we have to be clear here, no definitive answer exists today. The creator didn't sign their work. The mastermind remains a ghost.
Section 5. The Lost Knowledge, an Enduring Mystery.
This leads us to a much darker, much more profound question. Why did this brilliant technology simply disappear? Why wasn't it reproduced for centuries? If they could build a mechanical computer in 100 BCE, where did that knowledge go? It forces us to realize just how fragile knowledge truly is. Wars, the burning of libraries, the violent collapse of empires. When a master engineer dies without passing on their secrets, or when a single workshop is destroyed, centuries of innovation can just vanish into the dark. This is exactly why historians and scientists revere this object. The Antikythera Mechanism is recognized as one of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made. It's a deeply humbling artifact. It strips away our modern arrogance. It continues to profoundly reshape our entire understanding of ancient science and engineering, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that our ancestors possessed a mechanical genius that we completely underestimated.
When you look at those delicate bronze gears salvaged from the crushing bottom of the sea, you cannot help but wonder about all the ships that didn't sink, about all the libraries that burned. What else might the ancient world have known that we have forgotten?
Stay curious, stay skeptical.